Race and identity visual presentation. There are four interactives in this category. I'm going to recuse myself. So we also have, as I mentioned before, a mandatory break from 12:30 to about 12:45 so that Ashley and Cassidy can go get their lunch and participate in a group photo with all the student volunteers. So I would suggest if you guys want to, if you're close to being done and want to keep going, once Ashley and Cassidy have to leave, that's okay. You can continue the discussion. We'll just keep rolling on the meeting, and then you can put your choices in Slack and then let me know when to come back. But if you would like to pause at 12:30 when Cassidy and Ashley leave, you could do that too and just take a break until they're back.
We have all the links, right? In the spreadsheet. So
yeah, and
this should be fine for us to just
put the links in the Slack too, so that it's easily.
Go ahead and send the links in the Slack as you guys are talking about them, as long as we're still here.
Yeah, great. And yeah, Cassidy and Ashley, just go when you need to go. Just put a little note in the Slack that you're heading out.
All right, sounds good.
And y'all let me know when you're done. I'm gonna leave.
Wouldn't we just have lunch afterwards, Marcel? We'll
yes, lunch is afterwards. So you can let me know when you're breaking and when you want to come back for lunch, and I'll come back then. Let me just confirm that on the schedule. Yes, lunch after. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks, Cassidy. We're gonna move on to the Black Surfers one now. So these were these are totally different mindset to judge, right? And it's really hard because you want to spend so much more time with each one. Courtney and I found that a lot yesterday, right, Courtney? It's like, I'd like to think about this for many more minutes, but to be fair to all the other entries, and because we're like judging it on the whole thing, things like technicalities that interfere with the user experience, we also took into consideration yesterday. Technical issues, things like that. So yeah.
Should we talk about each one individually, or?
You don't have to. You can just give your overall thoughts, whatever you feel comfortable with.
To me personally, I think there was a clear winner. I feel like the Univision piece was, exceptionally strong. It looks great. There are a lot of really strong elements, and I feel like they all play very well together. And it's a complicated story, and I think that they did a great job with it.
I would agree. I think the strongest piece for me was also the Univision piece for a variety of reasons. I thought the overall experience was very smooth. As you were scrolling, videos played, auto-played. It wasn't a click to play. I thought the videos themselves were pretty contained in that, like, you could watch them for a couple of minutes and then stay interested to keep moving on. There also was a good mixture of illustration, graphics, video, text, and photo, and some archival photo as well, which was really nice. And the topic was really interesting. I had actually not come across this piece before. And I think the access that the journalist got to people in this inner circle was really strong as well. I also thought that Black Surfers was strong in terms of presentation. There's parts of it that felt quite immersive when there was the underwater shots. I thought it was the layering was unique in terms of interactive presentation. It's not something you see often. So it was interesting to see them experiment with it as well. And so, yeah, I would say those two were standouts from my perspective.
I agree. I agree with everything you guys just said. On the Univision project, this is a really small thing, but I really appreciated it. Like, the video played on a scroll, and then it also stopped playing on a scroll, which I don't think you normally see. So it was like technically excellent. Also, like, journalistically, the import of that story and the resources that they put into it. And additionally, that, like, they sort of, they were going a different direction than most other media at that time in their coverage. And I have a lot of admiration for that choice. The Black Surfers piece was, like, the photos over the GIFs was, like, best in class from my perspective. I just thought it was beautiful. The one thing that I missed on that project was that I would have loved a video. I would have loved to actually hear from them. I might also be thinking that because we've been watching so many videos. Like, it was beautiful as a multimedia without video, but I would have loved to hear their voices. Yeah, so those were also my standouts.
Yeah, I agree. I missed audio on the surfer piece as well, but love the background videos and photos layered together. I thought that was a beautiful design. We should talk about the other two as well. The San Francisco one, I thought each page itself had, great little stories and vignettes. But it did feel more like a landing page, that you had to go in and out of a lot, rather than, a full interactive. So while I really enjoyed the content of it, I didn't think the experience of it was as fluid as the other ones. But still really cool, and lots of work done there. And then the Washington Post one, I love the topper mix of photo and video. Especially if you're presenting a lot of different voices, I think that was a nice way to sort of draw people in to see the faces and etc. But same thing as yesterday, right, Courtney? The videos didn't stop when you scroll, and it can create kind of an confusing experience for a reader, I think. The Univision piece did that so well to, integrate the design into all the videos, so it felt like a really fluid experience going in and out of those short vignettes, which I really, really liked. So I agree, the Univision one was extremely strong for me as well.
Yeah, I would just echo some of your notes on the two other pieces. I thought the San Francisco Chronicle one was a really impressive kind of body of work. And clearly a lot of resources went into doing it. As an overall experience, it felt a bit overwhelming. And having to toggle back and forth from clicking into stories and then coming, and even in the stories, there was several different kind of lengthy pieces with text and longer videos. And then with the Washington Post piece, I think similarly, in being immersed in the video, I felt there was a little bit of repetition as well between the text and what the videos contained, and the click to play, but also thought the topic was a great one journalistically, and the topper also was very successful.
Yeah, such a variety of stories in that one.
I don't have a whole lot more to add on top of what's already been said. I think maybe for the lift every voice piece, it really seems like Jenna said, it seems more like a landing page that connects individual stories, and maybe the stories they seemed more like just kind of listening in on a conversation between the journalist and the people, rather than having it be like a highly edited, curated story. And it's a different way to absorb and experience the content. And I think that, it's a little bit less polished, but not necessarily for the worse. It's you kind of just have to spend time with the entire thing to get the most out of it. But I think that, if they were to spend a little bit more time in the edit, maybe have the interview be a little bit less raw, it would be a little bit easier to absorb that way.
I think in terms of like visual innovation as well, that piece and the Washington Post piece, while they were, I think like the design was good, it didn't feel sort of like exceptional for me in terms of like considering digital innovation.